Ah, the 4th of July. Time of year where we Americans gather around with friends and family to reminisce, barbecue, and blow things up regardless of what local ordinances may have to say on the matter, allegedly. But why? When you step back and think about it, launching off small explosives over populated areas for fun is a weird thing to do. And for that matter, how do we get to the point where everyone from your neighbor to sports venues to local governments around the US will themselves fire off thousands of dollars worth of these things every year at the same time? Personally, I thought this was something new, something we started in the last 100 years or so. But no, apparently this tradition goes way back. Yes, there's the Chinese invention of gunpowder and fireworks around 200 BC, but for their introduction to the Western world, we actually have Marco Polo and the Italians to thank. Europe was made aware about gunpowder and firecrackers in the mid-13th century by Dominican and Franciscan friars, but it was the Italian Renaissance in the 1400s that fireworks as we think of them now really exploded onto the scene, introducing multiple colors, burst patterns, and styles. Unsurprisingly, these new devices weren't cheap, so mainly saw use with royalty and high society on special occasions to show off after things like weddings and military victories. The better the show a noble could put on, the more they showed off their wealth, and as you would expect, this meant that their displays spread like wildfire across Europe and birthed a new type of job. Closet arsonists and pyromaniacs around Europe rejoiced as pyrotechnician became a legitimate profession. These green men, so called because of their habit of wearing fresh leaves as a buffer against sparks, began an arms race among themselves to provide the biggest, best, and in some cases weirdest designs they could think of in a competitive bid for contracts. A tradition that continues to this day, by the way. One company even went so far as to set off the record for the world's largest chocolate firework, a 10-foot behemoth used in the 2002 New Year's celebration over Zurich, Switzerland, that scattered 132 pounds of Swiss Collier chocolates over the crowd when it exploded. With fireworks being ubiquitous by the 1700s, it's no surprise that the Founding Fathers took notice, John Adams even going so far as to write down that he wanted illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore, in a letter to his wife Abigail in 1776. This sentiment was so widely shared that within 10 years, a sizable variety was available to the public, with everything from rockets to fountains available to your average Joe, firmly bringing them out of the realm of high society only. With the public getting in on the action, the tradition snowballed, with settlers bringing fireworks along to celebrate the 4th of July, and realistically any excuse they could come up with, across the American frontier for the next 100 years. Including the most famous 4th of July celebration of the Old West. In 1882, Buffalo Bill's Old Glory Blowout featured an exhibition of what was called at the time cowboy sports, and would come to be known as the rodeo in modern times. With several of these July 4th celebrations under my belt, I can firmly recommend it as a good thing to do on this long weekend. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go take out a loan so I can afford fireworks this year. I've been Nathan with Weekender. Thank you for watching.